Well, in lesson 10, we're going to continue the theme of openers' second bid, or their rebid as it's known. It's such an important bid as it's a chance to provide your partner with a picture of both your shape and the strength of your hand. They will now know a lot about your hand and will often be able to guide the partnership to the right spot. Last week we looked at situations where opener has a normal opening hand, but today we'll be in opener's shoes when they hold a really strong and unbalanced hand. Just like in lesson 9, the situation that we're going to cover is this one. One player, opener, has opened the bidding with one of a suit, and responder, their partner, has responded in either one or maybe two of a different suit. Those bids would be forcing. A one-level response would show a minimum of 6 points, and a response at the two level around 9 or perhaps 10 high card points minimum. It's even possible that their partner has just responded with one no trump, which of course shows between 6 and 9 high card points, and a hand that's not strong enough to bid a new suit at the two level. Unfortunately, the opponents are not bidding. This means the auction is what we call uncontested, and that keeps things a little simpler than otherwise. Now, if opener has a strong hand, they need to find a rebid that conveys the power of their hand and the shape. There are three possible considerations to help opener assess their rebid. Firstly, if responder has bid a major suit, an opener can support it because there is now a known 8-card fit, then opener simply needs to support partner's major suit. All their rebid problems are simplified and they only have to work out how high to bid, and we'll see that in subsequent slides. Secondly, if we haven't yet found an 8-card fit, but opener's hand is balanced, then opener will simply rebid in no trumps. This will tell partner they have a balanced, strong hand and they'll be able to convey the strength to within a narrow range. And we'll see all about that in next week's lesson, lesson 11. And that leaves us with the situation where opener has an unbalanced hand. Here, they've got a strong hand and it's unbalanced, so they need to find a bid that describes the hand more fully to partner, showing both the power of the hand and its strength. And we'll look at the options available as we go through this lesson. A reminder, as we saw last week, with unbalanced hands, our rebid is going to depend upon two main things. Firstly, it's going to depend upon the absolute strength of opener. Remember, an opening bid at the one level could be anything from 11 high card points up to 19 or sometimes even more. That's a pretty wide range. So we normally treat any opening hand with 16 or more high card points as though it's a strong opening hand, and anything below 15 high card points as a weaker type of opening hand. Last week we looked at weaker types of opening hands. They have fewer possible rebid options available. But this week we're going to concentrate on hands where opener has 16 or more high card points. They've got a stronger hand and they have better options available to show the strength and nature of their hand. The rebid also depends upon the exact shape of our hand. We know that you're unbalanced, but do you have one long suit or do you have another suit that you can bid? When you're balanced, of course, we'll be looking at that next week in lesson 11. But for now, we're going to focus solely on unbalanced hands and at the stronger end of the opening range. Assume that opener has a strong and unbalanced hand. What are their rebid options? Well, if partner's response is in a major suit and that has now uncovered a major suit fit, then opener simply jumps to show support of that major suit. Here, opener's opened hearts, but partner has responded and their response shows 4 cards in spades. Opener can simply jump in spades to show a fit, and by jumping, they're showing more than 16 high card points, i.e. a strong opening hand. If you remember last week in lesson 9, opener simply raised the spades to the next level. Here, they're showing the extra strength of their hand by jumping one more level to 3 spades. Sometimes we don't have a fit yet, but we can bid. Then we should often bid a new suit a 4 or more card suit to show our shape. Now, in the last lesson, lesson 9, when opener didn't have a particularly strong opening hand, we were sometimes constrained by the barrier principle, which limited our ability to show some suits. But now, with a strong hand, we can bid naturally to show our second suit without worrying too much about going too high. Don't worry, we'll revisit the barrier principle on a subsequent slide. Here's an example. Opener opens 1 diamond, their longest suit. Partner responds 1 spade. And with this opening hand, we're strong enough to bid 2 hearts. 2 hearts is a bid above the barrier. And we'll go over that again. But it means that we've got a strong hand to be able to do that. So we've got at least 16 high card points, and we must have more diamonds than hearts to make that bid. Sometimes we have a single suited shape. That means 1 long suit of 6 or more cards and no other suit to bid. Then, if we're strong, we can rebid our suit by jumping to the 3 level to show 6 plus cards and 16 or more high card points. Partner knows we've got 6 cards in the suit at least, and they may now be able to support with only 2 card support. So here's an example. We open 1 heart, partner responds 1 spade. We're not interested in spades. We've got a single suited hand with 6 hearts and 16 high card points. So we are strong enough to rebid 3 hearts. Our rebid of 3 hearts shows shows more than 16 points and shows 6 or more hearts. Lastly, we may have the option to show a really strong hand by jumping to the 3 level and bidding a new suit at that level. Now, this is forcing to game, so opener must have a hand good enough to make a game contract, even if responder is minimum for their reply. Here, opener has opened 1 diamond. Responder may only have 6 high card points for their 1 spade response, but opener's 18 count is so good that they would expect to be able to make game in hearts, diamonds, or perhaps even no trumps. They can confidently rebid 3 diamonds, which shows the strength of their hand and guarantees, of course, that they've got at least 5 cards in the heart suit. Look now at some of those options from the previous slide in a bit more detail. Now, don't forget, the prime objective of the auction is to locate an 8-card fit in a major suit. So if responder has bid a major suit and we now know there's a major suit fit, we must support. In lesson 9, with ordinary opening hands, we simply raise to the next level, but now we're looking at stronger opening hands, so we can jump a level to show 16 or more high card points, i.e. a stronger type of opening hand. Here's an example. West has got this hand. They're going to open 1 diamond, their longest suit. East has this hand, 11 high card points, but their response here is firstly just to simply bid 1 heart to show 4 cards in hearts and guaranteeing at least 6 points. West is pleased to hear the response of 1 heart. They now know there's a heart fit, so they definitely want to play in the heart suit. Simply the question now is how high to jump, and of course with 16 or more high card points we can confidently jump to the 3 level. If we had a slightly weaker hand, as we saw in lesson 9, we'd simply have to bid 2 hearts, but now with 16 or more high card points we can jump to the 3 level, which is highly encouraging. East, with extra strength, they've got 11 high card points, knows that West must have at least 16. There's enough points for game confidently here, and they would raise to 4 hearts. Sometimes openers got such a strong hand that they can jump even further and jump all the way to game. Let's have a look at an example of that. So here, again, similar sort of hand, but slightly stronger here for West. They've now got 6 diamonds and 4 hearts. They're going to open a diamond. East, again, very similar sort of hand, but only 7 high card points. But once again, their key feature of their hand is their 4 cards in hearts. They must bid hearts here. They bid 1 heart. And again, West knows that there is definitely a heart fit, And this time, with 18 high card points and lots of shape, these 6-card diamond suit's likely to play for a lot of tricks when we finally play the contract. We've got a singleton in spades. We might be able to ruff some spades. We've got a doubleton in clubs. We might even be able to ruff a club loser in dummy as well. So this is going to be a great dummy for West to put down in a heart contract. So we can jump straight to 4 hearts, and that will be the final contract. Now, there might be more elegant ways to bid these hands as we become more advanced bridge players, but for now that's illustrating the principle that perhaps with a slightly stronger hand we can jump straight to game. Let's revisit that principle of the opener's safety barrier and see how that applies to openers' rebid options now. Now, a reminder, the barrier is simply a guideline for opener to try to ensure that they don't bid too high if they don't have a strong enough hand. So if opener rebids a new suit above their safety barrier, that shows an unbalanced hand, 5 or more cards in the first suit, and it shows a stronger type of opening hand, normally taken as 16 or more high card points. So here, if opener makes an opening bid of 1 club, their safety barrier is automatically set in their own mind as 2 clubs. Any new suit that opener rebids above the level of 2 clubs would show a stronger type of opening hand. So here's an example. Here's West's hand, and they open 1 club, partner responds 1 heart, and opener rebids 2 diamonds. Now, that rebid of 2 diamonds is above the barrier of 2 clubs, above that safety barrier. So opener is now promising a strong type of opening hand, at least 16 high card points. They're also saying they've got at least 4 diamonds, and they will be promising longer clubs. This is really important for a responder to understand that whenever a bidding sequence like this occurs, the opener is promising a stronger type of opening hand. They must bid again at least for 1 more round. The good news is that with stronger types of opening hand, we're free to make these kind of bids above the barrier without worrying too much about it. So if we've got a strong hand, we're free to make our rebid at a level even above the level of our barrier. Some examples and see how the auction finishes. Firstly, let's have an example where we bid above the safety barrier. Here's West's hand, 16 high card points, very nice 5-card diamond suit, and 4 cards in hearts as well. They're going to open 1 diamond, their longest suit. Here's the East hand. They've got 9 high card points. And right now, the right response on the East hand is simply to bid 1 spade. Spades is their longest suit, so they must show spades before they show hearts here because they've got 5 of them. So East would bid 1 spade. Now West must find a rebid, but with a strong opening hand, they've got no problem here. They'd like to bid hearts, and they can bid hearts. By bidding hearts, they're making a rebid above the level of their barrier. Their safety barrier, because they've opened 1 diamond, their safety barrier is 2 diamonds. So they wouldn't be able to bid 2 hearts now unless they had a strong hand. But here, with 16 or more high card points, they have a strong enough hand to do that. So if they bid 2 hearts now, they're showing at least 5 cards in diamonds and at least 4 cards in hearts, and a hand strong enough to bid above their safety barrier, i.e. 16 or more high card points. East now knows there's a certainty of game. They can work out that we must be playing in hearts because there's a 4-4 fit in hearts at least, and with 9 high card points opposite a strong type of opening hand, 16 high card points in the West hand, there must be enough points for game. So West simply bids 4 hearts, and that would be the final contract. Here's an example with a jump rebid of a single suited type of hand. So this is a different sort of opening hand. Here, West again, strong opening hand, but they're very much single suited here. They've got a 6-card heart suit. They haven't actually got another suit that they'd want to bid here. So let's see how the auction progresses. West is going to open their longest suit, which of course is hearts. They're going to open 1 heart. Here's the East hand. 9 high card points, and it would be right to respond here with your 4-card spade suit by bidding 1 spade, of course. And now West, they can't support spades yet. They've only got 3 card support for spades. The only thing they can do now is to rebid their suit. If they had a weaker hand, they would simply have to rebid 2 hearts. But here they've got a hand that's suitable to rebid 3 hearts. A jump rebid, that needs 6 or more cards in the suit and at least 16 high card points. So here with a 17 high card point hand and six good hearts, their hand is well worth a jump to 3 hearts. Now, East now knows West is promising at least 6 cards in a heart suit and at least 16 high card points. They can now support hearts. They know that there's at least a 6-2 fit in hearts. That's an 8-card fit in total. So we would want to play in the heart suit here. So East would simply raise to 4 hearts, and that would be the final contract. Let's look at finishing the auction when opener makes a jump shift. That's to show a really strong hand by jumping to the 3 level. Opener's hand here, they've got 5 cards in spades and 5 cards in clubs. A really strong hand, 19 high card points. I think you can see that that hand really wants to be in a game contract. It would be correct to open here 1 spade, the higher of the the higher of 2 5-card suits. So West opens 1 spade. Here's the East hand, not particularly impressive. 7 high card points though, so we must make a response. We can't actually support spades yet, but we can bid 1 no trump here. Okay, it's our only option. We're not strong enough to bid our clubs at the 2 level, and we certainly can't bid our hearts at the 2 level either, because we'd need 5 of them, and we haven't got a strong enough hand to bid at the 2 level either. So our only option here is to bid 1 no trump. That shows 6 to 9 high card points and a hand not able to show a suit at the 2 level. So East has limited their hand. It's not a particularly strong bid. It limits their hand to within 6 and 9 points, but that's okay for West. They don't mind. Even opposite a minimum of 6 high card points, they can be fairly sure there's a game contract available here. So they need to make a jump shift rebid to show the power of their hand and to tell partner that we still want to be in game, even though I know that East has a weak hand. The only way we can do that is by jumping straight to 3 clubs. That shows we must have at least 5 cards in spades, and we've got at least 4 cards in clubs. If it also suggests an unbalanced hand here, because with a balanced hand, West might well have wanted to play in no trumps here. So we've described our hand pretty well here. Now, East now knows quite a lot about the shape of our hand and the strength. They know that West has got 5 or more spades. They also know they've got 4 or more clubs. So there's a fit both in clubs and spades. But clearly, we always prefer to play in the major suit, and East would simply choose to play in 4 spades now, and that would be the final contract. So we're going to look at lots of hands like this in our lesson. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you've got any questions, and we'll see you for lesson 11 when we look at openers rebid with balanced types of hands. Bye for now.